Imagine making $100,000 a year 10 years ago. You'd probably think you've made it. You'll have a nice house, you'll have a nice car, you'll be able to take a vacation every year, you'll be investing some money, and you'll probably still have some cash left over. But today, there's Canadians making six figures and still feel like they're barely getting ahead. And like many of you, I wanted to figure out why. So today, we're gonna take a $100,000 Canadian salary and actually follow the money. Taxes, housing, groceries, transportation, all of it. And by the end, we're gonna actually see what's left. Here's problem number one. When someone tells you they're making $100,000, they're actually talking about their gross income, not their net income. So unfortunately, that's not the amount that's actually hitting their bank account. On your $100,000 Canadian salary, you're gonna need to pay federal tax of $16,878, Ontario provincial tax $8,655. Now this is gonna vary from province to province. You're gonna have CPP contributions of $3,500, and you're gonna have EI premiums of $953. So after all of these deductions on a $100,000 salary, you're left with $70,014. And that's before you've bought food, paid rent, or even left your house. More than a quarter of that headline salary is just gone in taxes and CPP contributions. So after all the taxes and pension payments you'll have to make, you're left with about $5,800 a month, which doesn't actually sound half bad. So now we need somewhere to live. As of June 2026, the Toronto Real Estate Board estimates that the average rent in the GTA is $2,246 a month. But we all know the GTA can be quite expensive. So if we use the national Canadian average, the average rent is about $2,033 a month. So after housing, you're left with $3,767. And we're not even at the grocery store yet. Canadians don't need me to tell them that groceries and food prices have gotten ridiculously expensive, because you see it every single time you walk into that grocery store and you're flabbergasted at the price of bread, the price of milk, or even just the price of eggs. And these are kitchen staples that everyone should be able to have no matter what. So the average single person in Ontario spends between $300 to $560 per month on groceries. Now this obviously depends on their dietary needs, or if they look at flyers and buy what's on sale at the time. So let's call this around $400 per month. And think of it, that's just for one person. Then you actually need to get to work. So if you don't live and work in the downtown core, you're probably going to be commuting by car. You've got a car payment, you have insurance, you have gas, and you have maintenance. The average car payment is between $400 to $600 a month. So for sake of keeping averages, we're going to use $500. The average insurance cost in the GTA is $234 a month. The average fuel cost is $200 a month. And maintenance and repairs can kind of vary depending on the car you have and how old it is. But we're gonna put a nice round number of $100 a month on this. All in all, having a vehicle for you to just go to work, come home, and get your groceries, you're gonna be spending around $1,000 a month. But this is also why I think people dramatically underestimate lifestyle inflation. It's not necessarily one big $1,500 or $2,000 purchase that's gonna absolutely ruin you. It's $150 here, $250 here, $400 somewhere else. These costs add up every single month. So after taxes, housing, groceries, and transportation, you're now left with a lot of little things that, as you'll see, will add up. Utilities averaging $250 a month. Internet averaging $75 a month. Your cell phone averaging $75 a month. Fun fact, Canada is actually the fourth most expensive cell phone provider prices in the whole world. So for now, we're kind of screwed. Obviously, you want to watch TV, subscriptions, an extra $50 a month. Clothes, $150 a month. Restaurants, going out to eat, $300 a month. You want to go to the gym, that's $75 a month. You still want to see your friends and hang out and go to some social events, that's another $250 a month. And if you're budgeting for your trips, you're probably going to look at maybe one big trip a year and a small one, so maybe $300 a month a year. And then you have the random Amazon purchases. These are going to be impulse buys, miscellaneous things you need around the house, maybe some accessories for your laptop or a flower pot here or there. But these will be about $150 a month. All in all, you're left with $658 per month. And the thing is with most people, they're going to see that and they're probably going to think that they can go spend it on more stuff, going out more, buying more expensive food, or honestly just buying junk that they don't need and it ends up sitting around the house. But with a $100,000 salary, this is the part that I find fascinating. This person isn't poor. They're necessarily not irresponsible. They make considerably more money than the average Canadian, who makes only $64,000 a year. But after normal middle-class expenses, that $100,000 salary doesn't feel so massive anymore. That doesn't mean that $100,000 isn't a good income, because it absolutely is. It means that the lifestyle that's associated with a six-figure income has become significantly more expensive. And I think this is where a lot of frustration comes from. We're comparing today's salaries with yesterday's expectations. Six figures still sounds very rich because psychologically, we're using a benchmark that was established back when housing was more affordable, car prices weren't sky high, and everyday expenses consumed a smaller amount of your take-home income. So with all this in mind, you're probably thinking, what am I actually supposed to do? And there's three key levers that you can start pulling in your life. The first one is increasing your income. There's a limit to how much you can end up saving, but there's no limit to what your income can be. You can hunt down promotions at work, you can gain some new skills, or you can start a side business that you can begin scaling. All in all, do whatever you can to increase your monthly income, even if it's only a few $100. The second lever is to control your big expenses. For example, your housing costs too much. Look to downsize, even if it's just for a year or two, and make sure that you're investing those savings every month. When we're talking about cars, don't go out and buy this $60,000 luxury SUV because you really don't need it, especially if you're financing it. You're going to be stuck paying 8, 9, or 10% interest on a depreciating asset that in 5 years, it's probably going to be worth $35,000. I would avoid financing a vehicle, but if you absolutely have to finance a vehicle, look for something reliable around the $20,000 to $25,000 mark. Maybe a Corolla, a RAV4, a CRV, or a Civic will get you to point A to point B. It's still going to have maybe heated seats, keyless entry, and kind of everything you need for day-to-day life. The best thing with a used car is to look for something maybe 5 or 6 years old that has a lot of service records, no accidents, and you get inspected by a third-party mechanic that you actually trust. Another big expense is lifestyle. You don't need to keep trying to impress people and one-upping your friends or your colleagues at work because it's not worth it. Stay in your lane, focus on yourself, because no one else in life is going to actually focus on you. You just think they are. Saving $3 on a coffee doesn't matter if you bought a $60,000 luxury SUV compared to that $25,000 used car. And the third lever is to own assets. If everything around you is becoming more expensive because of inflation, you need something that actually grows your money. So if you're interested in investing, look at stocks. If you want the easy way out, go for some ETFs. Stocks and ETFs are really going to help grow your money and compound it over time so that inflation doesn't just eat away at it. So if you're making decent money and you're wondering why you don't feel rich, you're probably not imagining it. But the answer isn't also just to give up. It's understanding that rules have changed and the times have changed. And the only way to get ahead is for you to adjust accordingly. Because earning $100,000 is great, but keeping it and building wealth is the hard part. If you want to learn how to actually turn your income into wealth in Canada, hit that like button and remember to hit that subscribe button because I'm posting personal finance and investing content every week to help you build wealth. Thanks for watching.